Now my little boy James fell asleep with the onion on his ear, and I laid him down in the bed with his head on the onion with the towel insulating it, and he slept for 2 hours. And when he woke up, he was happy. I was impressed. So at the age of 25, this was my very first poultice, and I began a journey then, a journey that has never disappointed me. I raised my 6 children and then 2 more children, 8 children, and we never had to use drugs. I found the natural treatments always brought relief.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Barbara O'Neill, and today we're diving into the shocking benefits of onions. You might think of onions as just a common ingredient in your kitchen, but they pack a powerful punch when it comes to health. Research has shown that onions are not only rich in vitamins and minerals, but also contain antioxidants that can help reduce inflammation and lower the risk of chronic diseases. Did you know that studies indicate people who consume onions regularly may have a 20% lower risk of heart disease? In this video, we'll explore the incredible health benefits of onions, how they can boost your immune system, improve digestion, and even support healthy skin.
The second thing I'm going to look at is the humble onion. Now the onion can be used cooked or it can be used raw. To use it cooked, we'll look at cooked first, and this is the first poultice that I ever did. My first daughter, I was 23 when she was born, so I think I was probably about 25 when she got an earache. And I was trained as a nurse. Even though I was a bit of a hippie and starting to grow my own veggies and all that sort of stuff, I didn't know what to do about an earache. And everyone said to me, don't play with the ears, she could go deaf. So it was really out of fear and lack of knowledge, I went to the doctor. He wrote her a script of antibiotics. I gave her the antibiotics, I didn't know what else to do. Within 24 hours, the earache had eased. When she'd finished the antibiotics, the earache came back. I did not know what to do. 6 weeks later and 4 courses of antibiotics later, the earache comes back. But I still don't know what to do. So when I went to the doctor, I said, will my daughter be on antibiotics for the rest of her life? Which I'm beginning to come to this conclusion. He was challenged by my question. So he sent me to an ear, nose and throat specialist who looked in Emma's mouth, then her ears, and he said, she's teething. Give her these drops to keep the eustachian tubes clear, and that was it. So let's fast forward 2 years later. Next child is 18 months and gets an earache. I do not go to the doctor and I don't tell anyone. I have to do something though. So I went to the lady that lives next door. So I was, 26 or 27 by now. She's 85. I said, what did your mother do when you were a little girl and you had an earache? She said, Mum would steam up an onion on the stove. So I went home, I steamed the onion up on the stove, and then I cut it in half under her directions, so that what you're looking at is the rings. So you keep the skin on and it keeps everything in place. And I wrapped the onion up in a cloth, a few layers, and the few layers of cloth will help to keep it warm, but also just to shield the direct heat from being too hot. I tested it on my arm and I put it on his ear. I covered it with a piece of plastic, and what that does is that just insulates it. And then he was just a little boy, I was breastfeeding him, and I could put the onion between his ear and my arm, and I could feel the heat. And when he slept, I laid him down on the bed, but I laid him down on a towel that had been folded up about 8 times because I knew that that would keep it warm. You can keep it on for as long as you can keep it warm. What did they do before plastic? They used a wool square. So you can certainly use a wool square. I make a lot of my own clothes, and in the winter I make a lot of woolly skirts. So I have squares, and you can also put a woolen square just this side of the plastic so that the plastic doesn't even touch you, but it is stopping the moisture going through and insulating it and keeping it warm. James slept for 2 hours. When he woke up, he was happy. I watched him all day and the next day and the next day. That was it. Just compare my experience, 2 hours sleep with onion on his ear, and then my last experience with my first daughter, 6 weeks and 4 courses of antibiotics. No wonder I went into natural remedies. I was excited at the prospect. So I went down to the newsagent and I bought a book that had A, B, C, D, E, F, G in it. And I started my natural remedy book. And under E, I put onion compress. I have since learned that you can steam it and squeeze it. And if you squeeze it, you'll get a few drops of juice out. This is when it's hot. And it'll be boiling hot. But when the hot juice hits the spoon, it'll go a nice temperature, and you can put that in the ear. You can even use, one of these little soak it up and squirt it straight in the ear.
Onions are not just a staple in the kitchen, they offer a wealth of benefits that make them worthy of a spot in your home remedy toolkit. Onions are packed with antioxidants. These compounds help combat free radicals in the body, reducing oxidative stress. When your body is under stress, it can lead to various health issues, including chronic diseases. By incorporating onions into your diet, you're not just adding flavour to your meals, you're also giving your body a natural defence system. Onions also have anti-inflammatory properties, which can be incredibly beneficial for people dealing with conditions like arthritis or other inflammatory diseases. Consuming onions regularly may help reduce inflammation in the body, easing discomfort and promoting overall joint health. If you find yourself feeling achy or stiff, consider adding some sautéed onions to your next dish. Additionally, onions can support heart health. They contain quercetin, a powerful flavonoid that helps lower blood pressure and cholesterol levels. Maintaining healthy blood pressure is crucial for reducing the risk of heart disease, and the more you can do to support your cardiovascular system, the better. Try adding raw onions to salads or sandwiches to reap these heart-healthy benefits. Don't overlook their digestive benefits either. Onions are a good source of dietary fibre, which is essential for maintaining a healthy gut. A well-functioning digestive system is key to overall health, as it helps your body absorb nutrients effectively. Incorporating onions into your meals can support digestion and help keep things moving smoothly. Onions can also boost your immune system. Their antimicrobial properties help fight off infections and support your body's natural defences. Eating onions raw or lightly cooked can give your immune system the boost it needs, especially during cold and flu season.
The other place that you can use a cooked onion is for a boil. A lady told me about this. She had a boil on her back and she told her friend and she said, we need to cook up an onion. See, an onion is a drawer. And she put the onion straight onto the boil. Obviously, she waited till it wasn't going to burn her, but it was still quite hot. And then she put that plastic square over again if you don't want plastic on the skin, and I can understand that. You can put a wool there because wool will insulate. And then she taped it on. And she left it there for 24 hours. And when she took it off, everything came out. She said she's never had a boil resolve so quickly. So what the heat does, it draws it to a head, and the onion's drawing it to a head, and then it all comes out. She was very impressed. So the cooked onion can be used on an earache, and the cooked onion can be used for a boil. Once you've used the onion, you must discard it because it does draw poisons into it, so it needs to be thrown out.
Onions can be surprisingly effective for various skin issues due to their natural antibacterial properties. When you use a cooked onion as a poultice, the heat and moisture can help reduce inflammation and promote healing. Many people have found that this method works well not just for boils but also for abscesses and insect bites. To create the poultice, cook an onion until it's soft, then mash it slightly. Place it on the affected area and cover it with a cloth or gauze to keep it in place. Just make sure to check for any irritation, especially if it's your first time trying this remedy.
Now we're going to look at the raw onion. There's a couple of places you can use the raw onion, and one is for a sore throat. So for the sore throat, you finely slice the onion into a few slices. And what we do is, if the sheets get old, you just tear up the sheets. And then you put this sliced onion on the cloth, and you fold the cloth over and then fold it back over, and then that will go around the throat like that, and then you can wrap a scarf around it, nice woolly scarf, and you can go to sleep with that, and it'll bring relief to the sore throat. I think we all know that when you cut up an onion, you're likely to cry. Is that right? So that's a clear indication that that onion juice is very good at breaking up mucus on the chest, in the throat, in the head. And what I'm going to do now might surprise you. I'm going to put the onion on the bottom of the feet. So why do we put the onion on the bottom of the feet? We put the onion on the bottom of the feet because the bottom of the feet, or the feet I should say, are a reflex for the chest. And we're going to put the onion on the bottom of the feet for if someone has a bad cough in the night. And I'm going to use a plastic bag. Now at Misty Mountain we buy boxes of starch bags, so they're made out of starch, and that would be the best. Now if you don't have starch bags, you can certainly use a cloth. So you might use a cloth, put the onion like that and put it in the bag, and then what you do is you put your foot on the onion like that, and then you twist it around and put a sock on. So the bottom of the feet is touching the onion, and then you put a sock on and it holds it in place. Now my grandson, he was 3 at the time, I was visiting my daughter, and he had a bad cough, and she gave him a hot bath, which always eases the cough, and put him to bed, and he was coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing. And we thought he'll be asleep in a minute, but he kept coughing and coughing. So after half an hour I said to Em, let's do the onion. So we got him up, we chopped up an onion and put half the onion chopped up on one foot and half on the other foot, and put him to bed. Not one more cough. It's almost unbelievable. You almost have to do it to believe how incredible it is.
The remedy using onions works due to their natural properties. Onions release sulfur compounds such as allicin when sliced. These compounds have antibacterial and antiviral qualities, which can help fight off infections that cause sore throats. Additionally, onions are rich in flavonoids and antioxidants, which support the immune system. When you apply the sliced onion to the feet, it can stimulate reflex points connected to the throat and chest. This connection can promote better blood circulation and help the body detoxify. As the onion's juices seep into the skin, they may reduce inflammation and mucus production, making it easier to breathe. This simple remedy taps into the natural healing properties of onions, offering an effective way to find relief from a sore throat or cough without relying on medication. It's a great example of how some traditional remedies can have scientific backing.
Now I'm going to show you how to make an onion cough mixture. And the onion cough mixture is a very simple thing to do. You chop up the onion and then you layer it in a jar with honey. So we're going to chop it up small. Of course, the smaller the better, because the larger surface area you'll have. So I've got a jar here. So I'm going to put about 1/2 inch in the jar, and then you drizzle honey. Probably about a teaspoon, and then another layer of onion, again 1/2 inch, and then another drizzle. Oops, that was a bit heavy-handed, doesn't matter. Then another layer of onion and another drizzle of honey and a final layer of onion. So if you had a house full of people that had a bad cold or a bad cough, you might chop up another onion and fill your jar. And then we finish with more onion. I'm doing this early in our demonstration because by the end of the night, the syrup will have formed. You see, if I put the jar on the side, all you see is that thick, gooey honey and onion. By the end of our demo, you will see a clear, runny fluid forming, and that's the cough syrup. After 24 hours, you strain the onion out, and you're left with your cough syrup, and you keep it in the fridge. How long can you keep it for? Well, a German lady told me that she'd had hers in the fridge for 8 years. Because honey doesn't go off, does it? So once you take the onion out, it will keep indefinitely. So for a little child, maybe under one, you might do 1/4 teaspoon. For a 2-year-old, you might do 1/2 teaspoon, say 3 times a day. For a child from about 10 above, you might do a teaspoon 3 times a day. So if a child's got a cold or a cough or a bronchitis, any respiratory, asthma, so you give them the teaspoon 3 times a day and put them to bed with the onion on the bottom of their feet, and everyone will sleep soundly that night.
Thank you for joining me today to explore the shocking benefits of onions. I hope you discovered some surprising ways this simple ingredient can enhance your health. If you found this information valuable, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights on how to improve your well-being. Remember, incorporating onions into your meals is a small change that can lead to significant benefits. Stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.